Hi everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today is my birthday video, and for today's video I'm going to be talking to you guys about 36 things I've learned in 36 years because I am 36 today. Cannot believe it. I don't feel, you know when you're younger and you think that being 36 means that you're like ancient? I don't. I do feel like slower, like running wise, but not like in my body. I don't feel very old. Probably because I work out and eat healthfully. But so I wanted to do this video. It's a long list, but I also thought it would be good because I have to get ready. We're going to dinner tonight. We are in our favorite hotel in Cabo and in Mexico. And so I wanted to do this video while I got ready for dinner. So we're gonna go through my list. I have notes over here, so I'm gonna have to peek over there for a second. I've got these like Pixie eye patches on. I've had them on for a minute, so it's time for them to come off and I can get started with my routine. So let's get started. Okay, number one, first thing I've learned is, I guess it's not the most important, but just in general, is that God is God and I am not. And this refers to a lot of things in life, but we have this beautiful, which I think is beneficial, illusion of control in our lives. And, oftentimes we, quote unquote, can make things happen, right? And then there's situations where people are telling you it's impossible and you have to believe that God knows. God is the God of the impossible. And so understanding that God is God and I am not helps me to put things into perspective. This is vitamin C serum to balance out my skin. And it helps me to not stress about the little things. And like if there's a big decision that needs to be made, or if, something's coming down the pipe, I can say God is God and I'm not. So whatever happens, I know that it's for my good and his glory, and I can just rest in that. Doesn't mean I don't feel, some anxiety or feel some kind of like, discomfort, but I know that God is God and I am not. And so his ways are always going to be better than mine. And I can always believe things knowing that God is the God of the impossible, including the impossible task of us making our way into heaven by our own works. Like that is the definition of impossible. And so knowing that about God helps me get through life just a little bit easier. And the more I surrender to that, the easier life is. I'm like, God is God and I am not. And even though I think I have all this control and I can make all these decisions, at the end of the day, I'm not. Number two, this should not surprise you because I am a health and fitness channel, but health is wealth. Since I've been 20, I've had several different situations and medical scares and things like that. And even just getting sick, this is primer, getting sick and realizing that, wow, I can do nothing unless my body feels good or unless I, am healthy. That is really, really something that I'm starting to take into consideration more and more. And, that's one of the reasons why I am one of those people who's like, nope, I will not stay out late. Nope, I will not sacrifice, hydration for XYZ, because I'm just valuing my health more and more. Realizing that as I get older, the more I value the health, the better my outcomes are going to be. Now, of course, I can get cancer, I can have a heart attack, I can have anything, right? Something can happen to me, but really valuing my health above all has been really beneficial, not only to my personal life, but to my spiritual life as well. The healthier I am, the more Christ-like I can be, if I'm being 100% honest. Because when I'm unhealthy, I'm cranky, I'm moody, I have low energy. I can't give people the version of myself that God calls me to be. It's really hard to do that when you're unhealthy. And so understanding that has put me in a position to really value my health and take care of it. Number three, love is a verb. Love is a verb. It is not a feeling. And you guys know that I got married last October. This is the Tula Cooling and Brightening Eye Balm. I put this on my eye and then I just let it sit there for a little bit. It actually feels really good, and it's been helping with my dark circles underneath my eye. Love is a verb, which basically means that it's not a feeling. Like, yes, you're gonna feel in love and all that stuff, but it is a verb. That means that I have to make the decision to love someone and stick by that decision. If I decide, if it's a family member and I say I love them, how do I love them well? That doesn't mean like giving them everything that they want. It means that telling them the truth in love, being honest with them, supporting them. It is a verb. It is a doing thing. And holding myself to that standard of this is what love looks like has helped my relationships flourish. All my friendships, family, like my marriage, understand that love is a verb. It is not like how I behave like when I'm not feeling great. It's not, I have to be able to separate my feelings from the action of loving someone. Now, of course, I'm not one of those people who's like, love even though, they're cheating on you. Like, no, I'm not that person, but it is a verb, and there's gonna be times where you don't, your spouse is getting on your nerves or your friend is getting on your nerves, and it's not a reason to just like cut people off and be like, no, it's, okay, how do I love them well in this situation, right? Okay, I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit. Number 5, not every therapist is a good therapist. Please shop your therapist like you shop your doctor. Number 6, doctors are only practicing. I kind of mentioned this earlier that God is God and I am not. Doctors are practicing. They do not know everything. A lot of them, especially as it relates to nutrition, are not experts. They have no idea what to do unless they have studied nutrition. So do not take your doctor's word as gospel. Please make sure that you take care of yourself, do your research, and get multiple opinions on any kind of diagnosis that you get. Number 7, mental rest and physical rest are not the same, but they are both necessary. So when I was working a lot, I was working in my 20s, I was working these crazy hours. So I'd go to work and then I'd be running my business afterwards. So I'd be working like 12, 15 hours a day. And I would have a day off, but I would be like running around and doing stuff, either for my house or my mind would be going 1,000 miles a minute. And I've learned that I can have a rest day or a non-work day, but if my brain is still going, then I'm not going to feel rested. So making sure that I take time, and you take time to go outside and read or listen to a podcast, something that's really relaxing for you. Go get a massage, where you can kind of just zone out for a minute, take a walk in nature. Those are ways that you can actually provide yourself with physical rest and mental rest. When you go out in nature, it's really healing. And that's something that I wish I would have known and done more of when I was younger. I definitely did not value physical and mental rest. Number 8, you are not stuck. Whatever situation you're in that is tough, I want you to know you are not stuck. I know it feels like you are stuck. I know that you're thinking, you don't know my situation, that I'm gonna be here forever. You are not stuck. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not stuck right now, but long-term, you are not stuck. There's actually something coming along that's gonna allow you a way out. I have thought this many times. I'm stuck where I am. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't do this. In the most dire situations, you are not stuck. Just understand and repeat that to yourself until you find solutions that work. Number 9, sometimes it's worth the wait. There's a lot of pressure on women to do a lot of things, okay? Including get married, have children. It's worth the wait. It is worth the wait to not do that. It is worth the wait sometimes till the right job comes along. Of course, unless you have bills to pay and then you need to, but it is worth the wait. Do not let anybody rush you into anything that is not your God-given purpose. Do not. You guys, I forgot my actual brush at home, so I'm kind of annoyed because I have to use this like contour brush or whatever. Not even, it's awful. But some things are worth the wait, and if you can, wait. And waiting doesn't mean do nothing. Waiting means prepare yourself until that thing comes along. So if you're waiting for a job, prepare yourself so when the opportunity does come along, you're ready. If you're waiting for marriage, prepare yourself by understanding what it takes to be a healthy wife, and do that and prepare yourself that way. So when the right person comes along, you're not trying to play catch up, but sometimes it's worth the wait for that. And I can attest to that in several different ways. Okay. If there's a child in your life, I just want you to know that they're watching you. This is the scariest thing for me, because you guys know that I work with children. It is the scariest thing for me. It actually makes me like cry sometimes thinking about it, because it is such a responsibility. But I want you to know that if there's a child in your life, they are watching you. They are 100% watching you. And so understand that the decisions that you make, they are looking. And the words that come out of your mouth, they are listening. Even though they may roll your eyes or they don't say anything, they are watching. And this is why it's so powerful to make sure that you're demonstrating good values, health-wise, spiritual, mental, emotional. You guys, again, it is very scary for me. Every time I think about this, I get a little nervous, because I'm like, oh my gosh, did I say something that I would never want them to say? You know, like, but if there's a child in your life, they are watching you and they are seeing how you interact. And this is both a blessing and a curse. So live accordingly. Number 11, running is good for you. If you can manage to run. Number 12, body types and preferences change with the seasons. Do not try and get thick legs and a big booty and a flat waist just because it's in now. I can tell you guys, when I was in high school, people made fun of my legs. I was the laughing stock of the class because I had such big legs, and people were so cruel to me because of my legs, okay? I'm telling you guys right now people are like, oh my gosh, your legs. I'm like, girl, you just 20 years ago, you were making fun of my legs because they were so big. Do not change your body with the seasons. Change your body with whatever is healthy. So find the healthiest version of yourself and stick to that. Okay, maybe it won't look like a magazine, but find it. Okay, number 13, your mindset matters. I used to be one of those people who was like, whatever, all this mindset stuff was dumb, but it's not like you're doing like saying random stuff to yourself and pretending or faking it. But sometimes you can be in a very negative situation, and the best mindset you can have is, what can I learn from this? When I've been working at jobs that were awful, you guys, just absolutely terrible, I have had to go through with that mindset. Like, what can I learn from this? What can I learn about myself? What can I learn about other people? What can I learn from this job? Instead of being like, I hate this every day. It's the worst thing that happens. That may be true, but how are you going to get through until you get a new job, right? And my thing was, I was always like, okay, what can I learn from this place? What can I learn from these people? Whether that's good or bad, right? What can I learn from these people? What can I learn from this place? Because at some point you're going to go somewhere else, and maybe you get promoted to being a manager, and you can look back and you can reflect and go, oh my goodness, I remember I had this manager who was like this. I'm never going to be like that. Oh, I remember how that made me feel. So please, please, please change your mindset. If it comes to exercise and you're one of those people who's like, I hate exercising, excuse me, there are people who are like, have been diagnosed with ALS and wish they could run on the beach. Like, it's crazy to me that people are like, there are people who wish they could exercise. Like, they would give their left kidney to move again, to walk again. Your mindset matters. Okie doke, number 14. Please touch grass with your bare feet every day. It's called grounding. It's really good. There's nutrients in the soil that you normally don't get from food. And when you walk on the soil in your bare feet, it actually gets absorbed. Minerals and vitamins get absorbed back into your body. It's very stabilizing for your nervous system also. This is something that I used to I stopped doing, but I would do it all over the summer because I was coaching barefoot. And then I stopped doing it, and I noticed that I was like really, really tense and was hyper masculine. And then I went back, I started doing my grounding again. I walk outside barefoot on the grass. If I'm coaching, I am barefoot for like 10 minutes on the turf or on the grass. And it is so stabilizing for your mood, for your nervous system. It is healthy for you. Remember, we didn't always have shoes, right? Now we have shoes, so we're basically covering ourselves, covering our feet, and we're not getting some of those same nutrients that we used to. So grounding. Okay, wherever you are, there you are. This is one of my favorite ones because I'm one of those people who likes to run away from problems. Like, I'm like, oh, well, if I just move, I'm gonna feel better. If I just move, things are gonna be better. And the truth is wherever you are, there you are. So if you have a stank attitude at your current location, you're gonna have a stank attitude somewhere else. I guarantee you. If you have a stank attitude, if you despise your husband in a certain area, you're gonna despise him if you move. So sometimes we think that it's the location, but it's actually like our personal opinion and our personal beliefs. And this is something that has been hard for me to actually acknowledge because I don't know who that person is. It's been hard for me to acknowledge because I hate to think that like some things are my fault, if I'm being honest. But the truth is that a lot of times our situations, like changing your location is not gonna fix the way you feel. And I know that's hard to think because you will go right back into being Miss Negative Attitude wherever you are. Now, of course, this doesn't apply to every situation, but you guys know the nuances of those, right? So wherever you are, there you are. Change your attitude and your beliefs first, and then change your location. If you want to be a good friend, be a good friend. Tell people you love them. Good relationships are intentional. Stay out of the victim Olympics. This has been a big one for me because I have been in schools. You guys know I used to teach in schools. And I've been in schools where one of the ways that people bond is by complaining and talking about how horrible other people are and how much wrong they've done you. And for a while, it's kind of nice, I guess, to like vent, but then at some point it becomes toxic to yourself. And so as much as possible, stay out of the victim Olympics. Now, I know that there are real injustices happening to people, and this is not, don't, ignore these injustices. What I'm saying is, pick and choose when you're going to be a victim because it is not healthy to stay a victim for a long time, period. Pick and choose when you are going to get in the victim Olympics, seriously, because you cannot your nervous system was not designed to be in flight or fight like 24/7. It wasn't. And at some point, if you want your health to come back to you, you're gonna have to get out of fight or flight at some point. So if you're in the victim Olympics, you are going to be in fight or flight. Gotta clean this up right here because I don't have any of my other stuff. Literally was like rushing out the door. So I gotta clean this up in here. Yes, stay out of the victim Olympics because you will end up being very bitter and angry all the time. And I can tell you right now, that is no way to live. That is no way to live. So for myself, I stay away from people who are always complaining and always talking about how many injustices have been wrong to them because I can't sit in that for a long time. I can sit in it for about 20 minutes and then I have to move on. Like I don't have the capacity to do that anymore. And it's also not good for, like I found myself being sick and stressed and I don't want to do that. I'm sorry. Everyone is not your friend. Some people are acquaintances, some people are colleagues, some people are contacts or referrals, and that's it. Everybody is not your friend. Self-love is a scam. There's all this talk about self-love, self-love. Do you like yourself is the real question. Do you like yourself? If you do not like yourself, it doesn't matter how much pampering, how much journaling, how much, intellectualizing you do around yourself. If you do not actually like you, if you don't like the way that you are, your character, what you bring to your friendships, your relationship, if you don't like yourself, you will never love yourself because you will be trying to do all these things that outwardly manifest love, but people can sense when you actually don't value yourself. So do you like yourself and do you value yourself? And how do you show that to other people? Because bottom line is, people who like themselves take care of themselves. People who like themselves have boundaries. People who like themselves do not let every Tom, Dick, and Harry come into their sphere. They appreciate and value themselves. They have boundaries. So make sure you have boundaries. Number 22, everything is exactly as it should be. That's it. That's the message. Everything is exactly as it should be. Number 23, it's never too late to start. I watched my mother go back to school and get her associate's degree, become certified to be a medical transcriber, to go get her personal training certification. She applied to nursing school. Like I've watched my mom do all of these things in an advanced age, like meaning like 40. And it's never too late to start. Like I also ran into this man at the track the other day who was like 80 years old. And I was like, oh my gosh, you must be running your whole life. He goes, no, I started 5 years ago. And I thought, wow, he's like, I didn't really exercise or run or do anything like that before, but I just didn't want to grow old and sick and feeble. And he started at 75. 24, just so you know, the world is a better place with you in it. Okay? If you think for 1 second that it's not worth it, it is. Number 26, something is better than nothing. Number 24 is everything happens for a reason. Number 27, men and women have completely different brains. The sooner you realize that, the better off your life will be. Number 28, when you're ready, an opportunity will appear. Number 29, whatever you focus on multiplies. If you focus on the fact that there are no good jobs and everything is against you, I promise you that's what you will see. If you focus on the fact that there are no good healthy men in your area, I promise you that is what you will find. If you focus on the fact that there's no good churches in your area, then that is what you will find. You will nitpick people, places, and things to affirm your belief. Okay? If you believe that there's no way that I can exercise because I don't have any equipment at home, even though you can do an at-home workout, or I don't have a gym close by, even though you could probably find a gym at your job. If you have a job, there's probably a gym nearby your job. Or I can't cook healthy food. I just want to let you know that we were broke as a joke as children and ate healthy food, blah, 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 blah. Whatever you focus on multiplies. So focus on what you want, not what you don't want. It's the whole old adage of spend all of your energy focusing on the new, not the old. Number 30, if y'all don't have the cookie, have the cookie, okay? Have the cookie. I don't know who told you couldn't have the cookie. Have the cookie, okay? Having one cookie will not derail your progress. No one's gonna go to their grave thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so upset that I had that cookie one time. But what you might think is, oh my gosh, I sat there and thought about that cookie and calories instead of spending time with my friends and family. That's for real. Have the cookie. The last 5 pounds are not worth it. Number 31, people can only understand you from their level of vulnerability and honesty. Please do not spend your time begging people to understand you. Please do not spend your time explaining yourself to people who actually don't want to understand you, or they can't. People can only communicate with you to the extent to which they are honest with themselves and vulnerable with themselves. If they cannot access their own deepest vulnerabilities and step outside of themselves, they will not understand you. And I spent a lot of my time just hoping and begging and praying and pulling all this other stuff, hoping people would understand me, but they didn't even understand themselves. You cannot understand someone if you don't understand yourself, because you can't understand why people make the decisions that they make. No. 32, making peace and keeping peace are not the same. So you can be a peacemaker or a peacekeeper. People who want to keep the peace are generally people pleasers, okay? They are generally not peacemakers. So peacemakers are more interested in having actual peace, whereas peacekeepers are saying, I don't want to do anything that will mess up the peace, including maybe I'm supposed to speak my mind on something, or maybe I saw something that was wrong and I didn't say anything, but I want to keep the peace. I am really working on being a peacemaker and not a peacekeeper, because in my people-pleasing brain, I will actually be a peacekeeper and not disrupt, the flow of things, being scared that people are going to be upset with me. But if something is wrong, especially morally, I have to say something. That is being a peacemaker instead of being a peacekeeper. I want to keep the peace. I don't want to influence. I don't want to make anyone upset. No. Nope. I am going to be a peacemaker. Okay, we're almost done here, guys. Number 34, draw boundaries everywhere you need them. Boundaries, and this is number 35 too, walls keep people out. Boundaries keep people in their proper place in your life. People think that boundaries mean that you automatically cut people off. No. Boundaries means that this is how you are allowed to show up in my life. I want you in my life, but this is how you are allowed to show up. For example, if you have children and they have grandparents, you are allowed to show up in our lives if you are going to follow the rules that we have for our children. You're allowed to show up in my life if you're not going to come over and criticize every single thing that I have in my house. You're allowed to show up in my life if you're not going to state negative opinions about the decisions that I make. I am a grown woman. I don't need your opinion. If I wanted it, that's not how you build relationship. You build relationship by communicating with people, not just going around criticizing them. Do you see what I'm saying? So boundaries help people maintain a relationship. They're designed to keep a relationship. Walls are designed to keep people out. And I think a lot of people mistake boundaries and walls, and they give a lot of walls. You should not be cutting people off because of your boundaries as frequently as I think we do. A boundary is because boundaries have levels, right? Like there are people in my life who my boundary with them is I spend no more than an hour with them a month. Real talk. So they're not out of my life, but they're not also like my best friends. I don't want them in my life that much. Do you see what I'm saying? And then there's people who like I'm happy to spend however much time with them. Okay, there's people that I will spend an hour on the phone with, and that's my max because I don't want to hear anything else they have to say, because after that it starts to devolve into something negative, right? Those are boundaries. Not I'm never going to talk to you again because blah blah blah, like, which is what a lot of people do. No, we're not doing that. Okay. And number 36, last one, God is God and I am not. So that is my 36th birthday. This is my makeup, guys. It looks okay. I'm not like the best makeup artist. That's one thing that I do want to get better at. I use the Naked Urban Decay thing. Anyway, that is my 36 things I've learned in 36 years. If something resonates with you guys, please leave a comment and say like number 36 or number 24. I really like that. Share. I love hearing you guys' opinions. Or if you disagree with me, you're allowed to disagree. I still want to hear from you guys. All right, you guys, thank you. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one.